Hello and welcome along to Mondo Chelloveck Movies. My name is John, and I've just received this through the post from my good friend Steve Court. Now, you know what this is because you've seen the thumbnail, and I just want to thank Steve Court once again for thinking of me and doing this amazing gesture. It is so generous, it is unreal. Now, as you know, I'm a huge fan of Lucio Fulci, and everything that he brings out on 4K, I will be there and I will buy. That's a no-brainer because his stuff looks so amazing. Now, this one here isn't easy to get a hold of because it's been released in America and it's a really difficult thing to get a hold of. Now, Steve said to me, have you been able to get it? And I said, I haven't been able to go anywhere near it. I don't know how to actually pick it up. He said, don't worry about it. I've got it for you. And I was like, I don't believe this. So this has come today and I'm going to get into it and I'm going to show you. You can see my honest opinion on this. I've seen maybe, I haven't really looked at unboxings or anything. I didn't really think I was going to get this one at this point, but I didn't want to hear too much about it because there's nothing worse when you kind of get a hold of something and you see people unboxing it and you think, oh, I'll never get a chance to get a hold of that one. So I've kept away from this release, but I don't know anything about it rather than it just is meant to look fantastic. So there you go. So once again, Steve, this is just absolutely incredible to receive this. So what do I say? Nurse, Barry's scalpel, please. Be careful of this one. Okay, that's opened. Expertly packaged. There's a note in here as well. And the note says, Hi John, while we're waiting for Arrow to release the last part of the Gates of Hell trilogy in 4K, I hope this set from Grindhouse will do as a stopgap. As you know, since you made your video on protective cases, I've become like a man possessed. So naturally, I've included one for this set. Oh my God. That's amazing. That's absolutely amazing because as you'll see, this set is a size that won't fit, well, any protective cases, I thought. Wow. Thank you so much for the content, the advice, messages, and constant entertainment. All the best, Steve, aka Steve281. Look at that. That's what a surprise. I mean, this is a surprise anyway, but the surprise. Oh, yeah, the size of this, when I looked at it, when Steve originally showed me his version of it, he said, I don't know how I'm going to get a case for this because of the fact of it being, it does stick out a little bit. So yeah, unbelievable. Weighty. Mm, look at that. What I will do is I'll go downstairs now and I will take this downstairs and I will look through it and you will see this getting opened. But this is great. Now there is the cover there. Now what Steve's put on here is actually if you look at that, I hold it up there and you can see that that is the one that I believe from this company, which I find out from Steve what this company is. I've talked about it before that Steve is the man when he comes to looking for ones that you don't know what the box is going to be. I can't believe this has got a box. Oh my God, look at this, man. It's so this will come off, but Steve's left it on, obviously for protection for when it's getting sent to me. But this is unreal. So yes, I am going to go down. I can't stop looking at it. So I'm going to go downstairs now and I'm going to do the overhead shot so you can see this in all its glory because on here you'll not get a true representation of how good this looks. But and obviously on this video as well, I do screenshots from here. I'll talk about the fact if all of this is, if this is region free, well, the 4K will be region free. If there's any Blu-rays in here, which there is 3 Blu-rays, will they be region A locked? I don't know. Also a DVD and a CD. Anything else? VHS? Wow. But this is This is, as Steve was saying, this is the final piece in the puzzle for the big four. I consider the big four to be Zombie Flesh Eaters, The Beyond, City of the Living Dead, and also House by the Cemetery. And of course, you can go down the Gates of Hell trilogy, which is The Beyond, Gates of City of the Living Dead, and also The House by the Cemetery. But you could say the big five, because don't forget that New York Ripper that came out just after these is considered to be another masterpiece, which it is. And I just want to thank Steve once again. I will be messaging you anyway. And I want to thank you just once again for just taking the time out to do this and put this cover on as well, which you never mentioned anything about the cover. And to have this, it was one of those ones where you think, I'll leave the shrink wrap on because this will never get a cover. And here I am. I'm gushing, Steve, but wow. So let's take a trip downstairs and see what this looks like unpacked. Cheers, mate. So just giving you a quick look through this one. This was the one that was released in, I believe, 2017. Could be wrong about that. Maybe 2015. This was a great release, which still is actually. Got some good embossing on there, if you can see it. Yeah. Even that's got some good texture there. Spine's embossed as well. So is the back there. You can see it. Yeah. Brilliant. This was a definitive version of The Beyond at this point when it was released. And what you get in here is you get a booklet. You get two versions of, well, you get two discs. You get the feature and you do get the special features on here. Now all of this stuff has been ported over to the new 4K, which I'll talk about. You get Lucio Fulci filmography. So hard to get out them ones. So this goes all the way along there. That's quite good. Quite detailed, I would imagine. And this was the definitive one, and I did hear a while ago the Grindhouse were going to release the 4K of The Beyond. So I thought that'd be great. And it seemed to have taken forever to come out. Obviously on here you get the soundtrack to the film. This is the original soundtrack, because the other one does have the new soundtrack on it. Also a booklet here. This might be Lucio Fulci's, or should I say Lucio Fulci. I love this, one of the best special effects in cinema, that for me, horror cinema. Lucio Fulci, it's one of his best looking films for the way of its, the setups and the set pieces are the most extravagant, shall I say. So that was the previous one, and it was a really good release, but it pales in comparison with the brand new one. So here is the 4K in all its glory. Now what I did do a previous unboxing of this when I sort of opened the shrink wrap up and just took a look through it. There is certain bits on there that you probably won't see on this. So what I'll do is I'll put that on the end. I'll just put some music over the back of it, and you can see that if you want to, because it's slightly different. But this will give you everything you sort of need to know about this amazing and extremely heavy box set. Now you might still realise that I have got the shrink wrap on here, and shock horror, I'm going to take the shrink wrap off now, and this will show you how I've just kept it on for just a little bit of protection. Now I've talked about Steve Court before, and I've talked about protectors and how you can source these like protectors you just can't get from anywhere else. This is from the States. I never expected this to have a protector on, and this is such a strange size, this box. I think it needs to be for what's inside it. And I want to thank Steve once again for giving me one of these things, and also I want to have a major thank you to say for sending this over to me. I cannot believe it. So generous. And as a sort of thing that you never see on my channel, I will take the shrink wrap off. Yeah, that's unbelievable. Get some embossed in there. Grindhouse Releasing are a great company. I've got to say, everything I've got from them has always been absolutely brilliant. I'll show you the back there and show you what you get on here. 6 disc, man. So you get one 4K, you get 3 Blu-rays, a DVD, and a CD, which I'll go into when I open this up and show you inside. So it does say there, Region A. One of the Blu-rays is Region A locked, and I'll tell you about that in a minute. But honestly, look at this, man. They've got everything. I mean, the colours there, I love that colour. They've got pictures on it. It's just, I don't know. I knew this was going to be good. I just didn't think it was going to be this good. Now, this cover here is a beautiful cover. But it pales into comparison when you see this thing here. My God. So, let's have a look at this. Obligatory hard box test. Here is the booklet. Now, if I'd done the booklet on my other one, I'll just cut that one out of there. I'll try and show you the things that are different. There's Steve's note there, living in the set, which it'll stay there forever. As much as I like the Arrow stuff they put out with the Lucio Fulci films, and they're great, absolutely brilliant. And I've had some great stuff from Blue Underground as well. I've got to say, without a shadow of a doubt, this is by far the best release of a Lucio Fulci film. I can't imagine anybody who's seen this or got this one will say different. Yeah. Pretty gory in this one as well. That's just that effect. That whole scene is amazing. I remember seeing that once I think it was in Fangoria, and I thought, I have got to see this film. It took us years to see it, because I think I think the Fangoria was from around about 1981, and I thought, what on earth is this? But when you see something like that, you think, and it doesn't look, you know, it's when you get it on the actual film, it looks great as well. It's not as if it just looks great in a still. Oh, the house outside the cemetery. Is that a separate name for it? Yeah, we'll know where that's coming from. This picture of Catherine McCall has been used in loads of posters for movies. Gets quite confusing when you think, is that the Beyond? Got some amazing artwork in here. Now what it's got in here is, it's got a large section when it comes to, as looks familiar, Fulci copying Fulci. Now this goes on for quite a bit. In fact, the rest of the booklet. So I'll just have a bit flick through that. Don't know what that's about yet, but I like the look of that one. And yeah. So what a booklet that is. Amazing. And of course, this is the jewel in the crown. This leather bound, well, I'm going to say leather bound, but it feels like it. Book of Ibon, or is it Ebon? I think it's Ebon. I would have said Ibon, but especially with everyone losing their eyeballs in this film. But I think it is Ebon, the way they say it in this movie. But look at that, man. Look at the attention to detail. It's embossed both times here. These things here are embossed as well. Absolutely incredible. So what you're getting here is the first disc, which is the 4K, is the 2 versions of the film. You get the original version and you get the composer's cut. Now the difference is they're exactly the same, apart from the original cut used the black and white opening sequence. The composer's cut uses the colour sequence. Now I did prefer the colour sequence because when I watched it, you see all the blood in its glory, and there's a lot of blood at the start of it. So I think that looked better for me. But the main difference I would say with it is obviously the soundtrack. What's happened is that Fabio Frizzi has went back and he's re-recorded the whole soundtrack to this. And it's different to the Beyond, the first version, the original version, the one that everybody knows. Now, I thought that might have been a bit of a detriment to the film when you think, I'm so used to it in the other way. Will it be any good? And I'll tell you what, it's brilliant. I think that this could, like two different viewing experiences. I did watch them back to back and I had a great time with both of them. I felt like sometimes the original cut had a few sound cues, which I did prefer. I preferred the scene or the music behind when the young girl there who gets shot in the head and gets the top of her head blown off. I prefer the build up, the kind of crescendo of this music coming up until she gets like shot. So for me, but it's just little cues like that. There's another one as well where somebody's walking up the stairs, and when the person walks up the stairs, you get like the famous tune from I would say it's like the main tune a bit. And also the ending, the tune is played differently, and I prefer the original one, but I'm not taking anything away from the composer's cut, because I think in all of the other scenes, the music is kind of embellished. It's not different, but you can tell it's been tweaked a bit. And sometimes there's guitars in it where there used to be vocals in it. And I think it just works. And it's a great way. It's unique. I've never heard of this before. And it does work. That was what I was thinking. I thought you would get this one, you would just say, I'll never watch that again. But I tell you what, when I watch the Beyond, I'll go between the original cut and the composer's cut. So that's disc 1. Disc 2 is the theatrical cut and the composer's cut on Blu-ray. Exactly the same, and got all the special features it's got on, because I've checked it, that's on here. So it's just a carbon copy Blu-ray of the 4K, but it's region locked to region A. Now, if you haven't got region A capacity, but you want to get this set, don't worry about it, because this is the only region A locked one in here. And you've got it all in the 4K. And I would imagine you're buying it for the 4K. So if you're only buying this for a Blu-ray upgrade, at this moment, before you get a 4K player, you won't be able to see this one. But the previous Blu-ray is good enough to get you through if you're wondering how to get the best looking Beyond. I just say you would only get this one because you want to see the 4K, and I think the 4K, as you'll see from the screenshots, looks absolutely stunning. It doesn't look 100% stunning. Now I was talking with this with Steve, because when Steve sent it over, he'd watched the cuts and I'd watched mine, and I had a bit chat with him. And I'd said some of the scenes look a bit soft, but I think that's inherent in the way it was shot. I think sometimes they would set a shot up and to be in clear focus when a person gets to that shot, but when they're outside the shot, before they walk up stairs or come into that area, they look a bit soft, and then they get crystal clear when they come up there. So don't be put off by things like that. That's just the way it was shot. And do remember that these were shot quite low budget, in a way that would probably done with a couple of takes. They weren't going to waste time or money by shooting loads of scenes, because there was like a bit of a focus in it. You see this a lot in these type of films. So I wouldn't even count that as a kind of a way to make this seem a bit lower in the quality. So disc 3 here and disc 4 are extras. Disc 4 is archival extras and disc 3 is extras. Now, I've had a look on here, and what I think is that one of the discs, there's obviously extras here, I think one of the discs is a carbon copy of this one here, and one of the discs is new stuff, and I'm not sure which one is which. So what I think is that maybe this is brand new stuff, or this is the ones that's been ported over from there, or this, vice versa, this could be the new stuff that's not on that disc. What do you think with archival extras? It would be the one that was on that disc. So not too sure about that, but I know that one of the discs is new stuff. And then you've got this one here, which is a disc 5, which is DVD. This is the version of the film on 7 Doors of Death. This is the American cut of the film. I don't know if there's anything cut out of this one. You do get a few extra features on there. It's basically like a DVD version of it that's been put on here, so you can see like a lower quality one, which is quite good actually. It's like a Grindhouse version, and you can tell
you can tell immediately how much work has went into this 4K for this to look, you know, this is what we were used to back in the day. The days of VHS and all that type of thing. If you were lucky to get one that was a proper VHS, as opposed to the one I had was like a horrendous bootleg, which you couldn't make out. So this is a good throwback to that. And the last disc is the Composer's Cut, the Beyond the Composer's Cut. This is, it's great. Well, all the soundtracks, because you get the Composer's Cut soundtrack on this one, the original one on the original Blu-ray, and also you can get it on vinyl as well, the original one. I don't know about the Composer's Cut, but I would imagine you would do. But this is a fantastic like reimagining of the soundtrack, but it's quite similar as well. But it's all brand new. Like the way that they've done it. They went and recorded the whole lot. This is a little bit more stuff on there. And it's just an absolutely amazing set. Now, the reason I think that this is a bit bigger, a bit wider than anything else is because of the fact of this book. I think if they put the book in and cut a bit of the book off, it just wouldn't look good. You probably couldn't have fit the discs in either. So yeah, absolutely amazing. Throughout, it's nice to actually see that without the shrink wrap on. So I'll be putting the screenshots on here. The first screenshot you'll see is from the Blu-ray, this previous Blu-ray. And then the second shot you'll see on here is from this brand new 4K. Now, the 4K to the Composer's Cut, apart from having that colour scene at the start, it's exactly the same. I watched it and I couldn't see any differences, like I say, apart from the colour start, which I did prefer actually. So there you go. This set is heavy, really heavy. And as I said before, I'm going to go back and I'm going to watch all of the Lucio Fulci films I've got my hands on at this point. I'm going to put them, and then I'm going to put them in order and just talk about them and re-rank them and see where they all go to. But I really, on this watch, I enjoyed the Beyond, because I put this off for ages because of the fact that I did want to watch it for a long time, but I thought with this 4K coming out, I thought I'll just wait for the 4K, but I couldn't believe how long it took for this thing to come out. But I'm so glad it is. And I want to say a huge thank you to Steve Court for helping me out and just like getting this for me. I can't believe it when you talk about it. But you can see there that the difference in that. So it does stick out in the shelves a bit, which isn't a problem. So finally, the big four, Zombie Flesh Eaters, The Beyond, House by the Cemetery, and City of the Living Dead, are all out on 4K. I do consider the New York Ripper to be part of the big four. I know I don't mention it, but it's kind of because it's just come a little bit after that, but I still credit it as being one of the best ones he's ever made. And it looks spectacular on 4K from Blue Underground. I do think though, and Steve does agree with me on this, that sometime in the future, maybe 2 or 3 years in the future, that Arrow will get their hands on this one again. I don't think they'll be able to do as good a version as this, because this version is just like no other. But I think if they can get that and we can have them four together, it would be brilliant. And well, fingers crossed, they might try with New York Ripper. I don't think they'll get it here because it just for some reason the censors cannot stand it. Although I've seen worse, a lot worse in the UK, you know, getting released these days. But you never know. Okay, so if you want to stick around till the end, you'll see that little bit of a mini unboxing with this when I'm cutting the shrink wrap off and stuff like that, if you want to see that. But I'll leave you at this point and I'll say thanks for watching. You take care, especially you, Steve, and I'll see you in the next video. Cheers.